Hi, students. I'd like to welcome you to week 4, and we're going to dive right into it. Um, here is just a little bit of a summary of what to expect in week 4. You have several different things to watch this week, kind of get you prepped up for the final assignment for this week. Um, you're going to get into the how external and internal environments affect a business. You're going to get into some of the unique structures that businesses have. Along the way, you're going to figure out what a SWOT analysis is and how to utilize it for your business needs. Here are all the different things you need to take a look at. You have 2 assignments, and one is a key assignment. We'll get into that at the end. So, quiz and an assessment. Okay, so I'm going to start off by, and I'm going to add to this. So, what you see is not the final product here, but I have created an explainer video for you. So, I'll put this video in here along with the explainer video. And the explainer video just goes over some of the stuff in the textbook for this week. I thought it was a little easier format for me to put it in here. Now, I still think you need to go through all the components of the text and for the week and take a look at what you need to, maybe take notes on and what is important. There's key elements of it as well, but this kind of summarizes a lot of the major concepts, and I think it just makes it a little easier to go on. Okay, so that is, again, here is a little bit about the external environments. Um, and let's see, here's the chapter that you need to read. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff to watch. The book and the content and is really, I think, very good this week. So there's a video here about centralization versus decentralization when it comes to businesses and how they operate. And this guy on these videos is great. He's really entertaining, but he's very intelligent, and he helps us to understand kind of the structures of businesses and how they operate, and how a centralized version of a business in which you have a top-down leadership with a CEO differs very much from team-oriented leadership, where you don't necessarily have one person in charge; you have many people in charge, and it kind of makes things a little bit more complicated. But it can also really expand the businesses. So he tells us some good things about that. There's a video in here about a SWOT analysis and why it's done and how it's done. I want to tell you this about a SWOT analysis. I've been involved with many businesses that have run SWOT analysis over the years, and they are a great exercise, but they're quite useless unless you do something with it. So within a SWOT analysis, you are going to take maybe a specific concept of your business or the entire business, and you're going to examine what are your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And so it is in my experience that I found that there has to be a way to implement those. All right. So take what you've learned here and then figure out, well, how do you implement them, or how easy are they to implement? So once you create those opportunities and try to minimize your threats, you take those opportunities, you put them on an ease of implementation plan. In other words, like if it's really easy to do and it's going to be pretty beneficial for your company, well, that's kind of a no-brainer, right? But if it's going to be a lot harder to do, it's still going to be beneficial for your company. It's a little bit more complex. It might need some deeper diving into that to see if that opportunity would work. An example of this is a new company that launches a social media page, right? Fairly easy to do. It's good to get the word out. It's a good piece of ground marketing, right? Grassroots marketing. Now, complicated and more complicated, but potentially beneficial, similar component of that is if you wanted to take your market global, how would you do that from a marketing perspective? Would you just start taking out Google ads, or would you take specific YouTube ads out in different parts of the country using the demographics there? So that is a lot more complicated. It might take a deeper dive, going to be harder to do. So the SWOT analysis kind of tells you what you might be able to do, and then you got to figure out how you're going to do it and how you're going to implement it. All right. So there's some good stuff on SWOT analysis, and then it goes through a couple different examples. One of those examples is with Starbucks, and then one is with Tesla, and they're good things to watch to kind of get you more familiarized with SWOT analysis. In the business world, there's going to be a very good chance that you're going to be involved with some type of SWOT analysis to figure out, how to expand your business or maybe minimize different threats that are coming in. Okay. Okay. So you have a quiz, and then you have this key assessment. So this is kind of a compilation of the different things that we have been working on or that have been on our text and in our content from day one, right? So it's worth a total of 40 points, and you're going to read through the directions of this and then go ahead and create your content. So you can put it in the form of a paper, an infographic, a recorded video, or a PowerPoint presentation. Just make sure that you cover all four of the components of the directions here. Also, don't forget, and I think this is really important, and you guys need to make sure that you look at this on a regular basis, is what does the rubric look like? All right, and here is our rubric. It's very specifically laid out, and it's based on all four of those questions. You can get anywhere from 0 up to 10 points for each one of those questions. So this is, up to you to take a look at that, but it's up to you to reach out to me if you have a question. So get creative with this, have a little fun with it. Just make sure you cover all the components of the four questions here, right? In the end, this course is meant to cover different key assessments. This is one of them. And if you look at the course competencies, we're trying to make sure that you understand the managerial roles and responsibilities. You need to understand kind of how the evolution of management has happened over time. Taking and with this specific assignment, looking at the decision-making process and how that's used by managers. So covered all those things up through the first 4 weeks of class, and this is the first major assessment. There'll be a similar one kind of in the last week. So hope you guys are all doing well, and we're kind of at the midway point here at week 4, maybe just slightly past the midway point. So there's no time like right now to make sure you're caught up and getting everything done. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I will help, and if I can't help personally, I will get you in the right place so that you can make sure you are successful in my classes. I've enjoyed the comments and the feedback I've had from you all up to this point in time, and I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you succeed in my class. Have a great day.